go from there.
Okay. Well, my name is Gwen Head, and my handle is Gwen Head Pilates. I am a Pilates instructor right outside of, well, I live outside of Minneapolis, but
Mhm,
my two studios that I teach at are located in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
mhm.
I'm going into my fourth year of teaching. I had a 2-year stint with Matt, and then I went and completed the program after that. So, full service Pilates instructor.
Mhm.
And as of now, I just started my virtual classes this week. I just jumped into the
This
game.
week, eh? Nice.
I know, I kind of stayed out of it the first half of our quarantine, and then we
Mhm.
went back into it a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, just do it. And
Nice.
I've been able to work with my private clients as well. So, yeah,
Very
that's what I'm
cool.
doing.
Nice. Um, I had Michelle on just for a few minutes, get to work. And
Yes.
yeah, and when she said just this week, I got over myself.
Hmm.
It was a really interesting piece because I know like she's taught TRX, Zumba, classes, like the Fro, the group fitness, awards, all this stuff. But
Hmm.
to say it was just last week, she got a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so why was it just last week for you getting into virtual?
I don't even know, Martin, to tell you the truth. So I have another gig as a HR professional, so it's funny to hear you talk about what you were just speaking about. And so I'm in front of clients all the time. I'm used to, setting up Zoom meetings and Google Meets and all that fun stuff. And
Yeah,
I just don't know why I couldn't get over myself in terms of Pilates. I mean, I have the greatest clients. They totally would have supported me,
right,
had I done it earlier. I was fine with doing privates on my
right,
own. I just don't know what it was about the class. And, nothing happened. Basically, it was a great class.
right.
Everyone
Yes.
showed up. I got great responses afterwards. I don't know why it took that long for me to get over myself. But for next time, I have another reference point for next time where it's just,
Right.
you were scared to do online teaching and that went fine. So whatever the next step is,
Hmm.
I won't have as much trepidation.
Right. I think it's funny though, right? Like, do we really remember the fact that we have a track record of success when the next scary thing comes along?
I'm trying to. It's taken to writing notes for
Hmm.
me.
Yes.
Have a little list of these are all the times that you've done this, and the list is getting longer and longer. So,
Yes.
yeah, yep.
Ye-
So definitely, I will remember this.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, because I mean, being HR, you've done your meetings. The presenting piece isn't the problem,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. When we do it though, well, that's good.
Hmm.
So, what was your experience with it? Like, how did you find your verbal cues now, the fact you couldn't get tactile cues in there? Like, what would, for those who are watching who still haven't made that jump out of the boat into the virtual,
Hmm.
what would be your words of advice for them?
So, I just pretty much I kept my eyes open, but kind of closed my eyes and just
Hmm.
kind of figured out what I would have done in the studio. So I've been working pretty much this past year trying to work more on my verbal cues than
Hmm.
actually physically touching clients, just because,
Yes.
praise God, my classes are getting bigger, so I can't
Hmm.
be everywhere,
Yes.
at the same time. So it was actually easy. I think the hardest part was not having the feedback. So, you show the exercise and then you have to look at the screen and make sure
Hmm.
everyone is doing it.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, my cueing, I must say, I've grown a lot in my cueing.
Hmm.
It just takes practice. It just takes
Yes.
practice. It's, once you kind of get over the fear of being virtual versus being in person,
Yes.
it'll come to you. It's practice. That's the best. It was a good first showing, but I know there
Yes.
were some things that I realized that I could get better at. So
Hmm.
then we'll do that next time, and then I'll grow from the next
Yes.
time. And yeah, I mean, if it's
Absolutely.
something that you want to do, just go out there and do it, and you'll learn from it.
Yeah, get your reps, right? Like it's the
Yeah,
same as
exactly.
every
Yeah,
muscle
yep,
needs reps. So
exactly, exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So was there something in that class? I'm totally hanging on this for a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, was there something in that class where you're like, I nailed that?
the end.
Yes. Right.
You can never go wrong with mermaid.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, just as I went through the class and as we got towards the end and I felt more comfortable with it, you
Mhm.
know, yeah, I
Yeah.
was noticing, getting that feeling when you do that great, in-person class. It was
Yes.
slowly coming up. So,
There you go.
yeah,
Got some fans.
yeah.
Love it. I had it was one of my friend's birthdays earlier this week, and I was we're having this reminiscing time of talking, and we have this whole like real tight close group of friends that we used to go to youth group together, and we just grew
Hmm,
up in high schools and all these different things. And I said back to him the saying that we had where he said, you'll never succeed in life until you're not afraid to fail.
true. I like that. Yes.
And as simple as it is, this little piece of doing a virtual class this week and it going well, that's your track record, right? And that's the thing, when you got over that fear of failure, like what was the worst that could have happened? Like you stand there and people stare at you waiting for the next exercise. Like,
Yeah, yep.
right?
And exactly, and they would have been fine with it. I would have been, that's in my head. I would have been the one thinking, oh my gosh, that didn't go well. I knew I shouldn't have tried this. I should just stay in person. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to get over that fear of failure. And I mean, I'll, admit to it. I'll cop to it. I had a very perfectionist attitude for a good part of my life.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
because, growing up, you were kind of taught, particularly with African Americans, Black people, you have to be, twice as good,
Yes, to get
So
half
if
as
you
far,
have
right? Yeah.
that, yep, if that is what you had for the most part, that's what you go with. And,
Right.
it's taken me a while to kind of get to the point where, it's okay to fail. It's okay to, maybe not do the best the first time out. Or,
Hmm.
even if you killed it the first time out, the second time may not be as great. So you just have to
Yes.
get used to that. And I think if you learn from that, you know how
Mm,
to go further. So, yeah,
absolutely.
so yeah, I did a
Yeah.
lot of work on that. That didn't just, pop up this week.
Right. A lot of self-talk. Yes.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. But then the same ties in with your post too, right? Because we have to get over ourselves to put an exercise out there,
Yeah.
regardless of how good you are. You know
Mhm.
that like there's going to be we're subject to opinions with whatever we put out there.
Mhm.
So what's a self-talk that gets you through that?
Actually, I find that fun. Yeah,
Good.
I find that fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that was when I started on Instagram about a year ago. And at first I thought, well, maybe I have to do this perfectly. Let me see how this is going to go. And no, it's actually been, that's the fun part of my job is to say,
Good.
hey, you
Yeah.
guys, this is what I did today.
Hmm.
How did you do? What did you do? Did you do it this way? What are your thoughts?
Right.
Just
Right.
because I'm open to feedback. So,
Right.
yeah, so I'm not one of those that does like 5 takes and decides which picture it's.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I like this one. Post this
Right.
one.
Take one. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see how people can get caught up in that. I'm kind of shocked that
Oh,
I
for
haven't,
sure.
but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
good for you. And I was like,
Yeah.
it was tongue in cheek when I posted this morning because like I'm like I put something up there and posted like appreciate your feedback or whatever. I got like 5 comments. Joel says something for me, and he like kind of supports. You had 80 comments on one. 80.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun to interact with everyone. And I think, it just shows that it's very few posts that I put up that I'm doing the classical exercise, the way that it's supposed to be,
Yes.
the way that
Yes.
it's taught. So I think, putting that up there, and because I love when I see other people do it and they have a different twist on it.
Yes.
So yeah, with that one, I think that was the stomach massage, and I
Yes.
think we
Yes.
could
Yes.
all relate to it. If you hear the word stomach massage, it's only two reactions in the room. It's yay, and that's me,
Right.
and it's others that are just, no, let's not do stomach massage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of had an idea that that would probably get some
Resonate.
feedback. Yeah, with a lot of people, and I'm being me. I love it. I love hearing it. I'm ready to go.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, so it's pretty fun to, either see people who, yes, I agree with you, thank you, I needed, I just
Yeah.
needed you to say it so I can come out and say it too, or
Right.
no,
Yeah.
no, you're crazy. Why would you like stomach massage? So I love interacting with people. So that was pretty fun to get
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of comments and on.
Absolutely. Like it is a funny sort of peer pressure, like you said,
Hmm.
like just getting that peer pressure and being like, yeah, I hate it too. Like, like,
Hmm.
like, no,
Yeah,
this is good. But then
yeah.
as an instructor, that's the thing we are saying too, right? Like, do we ignore that when our classes, or do we find those modifications and make it palatable for everyone in the room?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And and you can read the room pretty much when
Mhm.
you say it again, whether it's stomach massage or any other exercise. And,
Mhm.
well, that's not your favorite. Well, is it just not your favorite because you don't like doing it? Or can you not get into the position as it's taught? You can pretty much figure out, pick up cues from people as to why it may not be something that they like to do. And
Mhm.
then you can work with that,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think a lot of it is in the delivery and the approach of it. It's just,
Yes.
making them
Yeah.
feel, welcome. You may not do it this way, but you're going to do it. It's going to
Right.
be, and I'm going to find a way for you to do it and like it.
Right. Yes. And like you're saying there too, when we build that rapport with people, we can really dive deep on the why, right? Because I mean that's
Right.
like, because everyone's like, I don't want to do it. You know, like, all right, okay, we're not going to do it. Or so, well, why don't you want
Hmm.
to do it? Oh, because it hurts my hip. Because I feel uncomfortable. Because I just can't. I don't look like you, so I can't make the exercise look like you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's been a big one with a lot of my clients. And I like being able to delve into that a little bit more. First of all, your teaser isn't her teaser, isn't his teaser. It's not my
Hmm.
teaser.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's good to listen to your clients and just to see, what they're thinking. Because a lot
Hmm.
of it, you're together for an hour. You want to make sure that they're getting what they can out of that hour.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that they feel heard and valued during that hour. So,
Right. Yeah.
so I'm going to have, if that means I have 6 or 7 different teasers, we're going to have 6 or 7 different teasers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you speak to teaching the male body, teaching the white body, teaching the fill in the blank body, just generally speaking, right? Because if we
Hmm.
have this idea of it's supposed to look like this, then we get stuck,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so in my experience, I've just kind of, have noticed differences, particularly within, and it's something that's not taught. This may be something that you just learn in terms of the black body, white body, in terms of um, how to teach those and what those exercises look like. I'll say, now I have an advantage because of having a black body, as I call it. And
Yes.
it's just been, well, this is how I do it. But then you get into it, my body is shaped from other black women. So, and you just have to look at each person and just figure out what is going to work for them. And again, a
Hmm.
lot of that comes from having that conversation with them. And it's just
Yes.
creating an environment to where, hey, I don't care who you are. You're coming in here for an hour. You want to get the best out of this hour. So we're going to do the exercises. And I'm just going to let you know. I'm not going to say that, hey, your teaser doesn't look like their teaser.
Right.
This is what
Yeah.
your teaser is going to look like. So I think,
Hmm.
and most of the clients that I work with are very open, very welcoming of that information. I'm not going to say, all bodies are, beautiful. And I mean, they are, but they don't want to hear that. They want to hear, how can I get into this teaser? How can I feel what
Yes.
the other people are feeling when I look at them and they don't look like me? So you just figure
Yes.
out, a
Right.
way to teach to each body.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's, they come in for the work. They come in for, how is this going to help me and what I want to accomplish today?
Yeah.
And you being the instructor, you just have to figure out, you have 6, bodies in front of you. How are we going to do this? And
Right.
it's getting
Exactly.
easier. It's getting easier. I mean, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where you acknowledge it, but then, okay, we've acknowledged we have 6 different types in this room. Let's go.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
And and that's more work for us,
Yeah.
which sometimes we can't be bothered with that work. So we're like, okay, we're just going to skip this exercise
Mm-hmm.
because it takes so much energy. And that that's a challenge for us as instructors. Can we get efficient with our words? Can we find ways to navigate through that? Because a body looks different doesn't mean that it can't do what a different body type, an athletic body type may be able to do.
Right.
So how do we find those regressions? How do we find different movement patterns to kind of get to set up that exercise, right? So yeah, Joel
Mm-hmm.
has put a comment here. If you have, yeah, I was going to say that. That was my next line. Yes, the X-ray vision. So you have to develop X-ray vision to see what is happening inside each person's body. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I've
Right.
had people on here talking about that, like almost like we need to develop that X-ray vision. Like, where are the bones? Like, regardless of what the body looks like, what is the skeletal
Exactly.
structure doing in this moment?
I love that.
Can we see that? Can we find that?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Do you find yourself doing that when people are walking down the street?
Yes. Yes.
Where, ooh,
Yes.
this is what your teaser would look like. You're at
Hmm.
Target.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you would
Right.
have like a killer teaser or
Right.
killer
Yes.
long
Exactly.
stretch. So, yeah,
Yep.
no,
Yep.
I love that. Yeah, X-ray vision. I love that.
Yes. Exactly. And it's funny because I do that not with everybody. Like, I'm not like judging everyone who walks by. I
Hmm.
am judging bodybuilders though. Like
Oh,
guys who are
really?
just like absolutely jacked. I'm like, you can't do a roll up. Bet you can't do a roll up. Probably can't do a roll up.
Yeah,
Leg circles are gonna kill you. Like forget
I know.
teasers, leg circles are gonna burn.
Hmm.
So that's that kind of fun stuff is the way I look at it. Because then at the same time, I may look at them and kind of like cast that judgment. I'm like, that is my ideal client.
Oh, hmm.
I want that athlete. I want that guy who is quote unquote on top of his game, and then show him that there is more range of motion available to him. There's more speed available to him. There's more strength available to him if he
Hmm.
could just move better and get his skeleton or get his spine more mobile, all those different things. So it's a half judgment, half marketing thing for me. When I look at people like that, I'm like,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, that would work. I think
Hmm.
you would like benefit from this.
Hmm.
Which was a seamless transition to my next question of who is your ideal client?
Oh, let's see. I love beginners and I
Hmm.
love athletes. And I love working, I'm just throwing it out there, male athletes.
Yeah,
And
yes.
part of it is just, and I'm married to one.
Yeah, are
And
you? Yes.
and our first Pilates session was hilarious. I mean, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, it was worth it. And it's just, oh, I box and, I play basketball and I do all this. I don't really need Pilates. And, like
Oh,
you said, the
famous
roll
last
up,
words.
oh my gosh, the roll up was just, and my roll up isn't anything to write home about, but oh my goodness. So yeah, it's been fun to work, with all types of athletes. I've been
Yes.
able to work in high schools and college campuses, and it's been interesting. It's one of those things where they hear about Pilates, they'll see it, but and they may have known someone who's taken it and said, hey, this
Yes.
could really do a lot for your game. This could help, but just, hadn't really gone to it. And I mean, we'll do maybe 7 exercises. And at the end of that hour, it's just, oh my goodness, I did not know,
Hmm.
So it's always been fun. And then the beginners, I always love the beginners. I still have a
Yes.
special heart for the beginners. I wish there is a way, in the way that I teach, and I probably could create just a class just for beginners.
Yes.
Just the wonderment that I felt when I started Pilates,
Yes.
just the fun of showing, hey, you can do these exercises. A big part of that is laying down.
Yes.
That like,
Yeah.
and it's just, yeah, I'm working with a private client who just started. This was her first, we started working together in July. And just to see
Hmm.
the growth that she's had, up till
Love
this
it.
month, and just to see that she keeps coming. I'm not missing this. I'm, going to this.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 times a week, regardless. And it's just fun to watch that wonderment and just to see the changes in the body, even if they're not, fully,
Mhm.
physical appearance changes. It's
Yes.
more so just them getting stronger and seeing the confidence when they
Right.
walk in the door and they're walking taller than they
Yes.
did before.
No doubt.
And we were working on long stretch for a long time, and she did it, and I flipped. I was way more excited about it than she was.
She was.
Way more, probably a little too excited. So, so yeah, so
Yes.
I would say those are my two favorites. But I've worked with a number of people. I love new challenges that come in. I'm
Mhm.
hoping to diversify a little bit more to see different bodies coming in.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's chiming in on the loving the new bodies and the beginners. Yeah, because there's like you said the word wonderment a couple times in there because that's so true, right? Like you see in
Hmm.
their eyes, like who was saying it? Someone earlier this week, like just chasing after that aha moment.
Yes.
Tracy was
Hmm.
saying that on Monday. Like we're almost like get addicted to seeing someone get that aha moment.
Yes, and I love it. It's just, it's just the best. It's why you do this work. It's,
Yeah.
and again, even if it's for you to see that and the client is thinking, oh, okay, well, yay, I can do long stretch now.
Yes.
And, she was fine with it. I'm telling everybody I know.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's wonderment, I'm hoping for them, but definitely for me.
Yes. And I have been, and my wife's probably still on here, and I've said this so many times. I am guilty of that, of wanting something for my people more than they want it for
Hmm.
themselves.
Hmm.
To a
Yeah.
danger. Like, I mean, like, like, I mean, like, I say, you can just like calm down. It's not that big
I
of a
know.
deal. I'm like, no, it's taken us 4 weeks to get this. And you
I
nailed it
know.
today. I'm like,
Like you're doing this long stretch,
yes.
whether you want to or not, But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's, and I think you have some clients, I know most of mine kind of feed off of that with me,
Yes.
because, they're thinking, oh, it took me, a few weeks to get this done,
Hmm.
but I'm of the mind that, you're doing it. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. I didn't set a timetable for you to do this. You're
Yeah.
doing it. So, and this
Yeah.
is how you build. And if you constantly add on to that and they see themselves building from that, then
Hmm.
that's where you start to see it's for me, if it's a private client, it's usually about week 6
Yes.
is where you start to see the building on as you're moving
Yes.
from intermediate to advanced,
Right.
yeah, so it's pretty
Exactly.
cool. It's pretty cool. That's my favorite part of the job.
No doubt. Same. And yeah, like my wife's saying here, like a fan of the grand finale moves. And what she means by that is if I've been building someone up over the weeks with an exercise and I see that they've gotten all the components of it,
Hmm.
I may throw something like airplane at them right at the end of the workout when they're already tired, but they're already mobile and they know that, and I know that they can do it, but they don't think that they can do it and they're tired. And they're like, and for your grand finale today, we're going to do some ridiculously hard exercise that I may have thrown at them weeks ago that they had no chance of doing. But because I've seen them do the pieces of it today, I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be able to get it.
Hmm.
They don't like it. But they do it. And then I celebrate and
Hmm.
then they feel good afterwards, even though they hated me for that 30 seconds and life goes on,
Exactly.
right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
You just
yeah.
do it. Mine is snake.
Yes,
So they can
exactly.
almost, yeah, pinpoint, I love it when I do it in class and we're getting to that exercise that almost resembles snake and you just see everyone stop. And they're
Stop.
like, you're going to make us do snake, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, we
So,
are.
yes. And you're
Yeah.
going to love it.
And you're gonna love it. And you're gonna smile through the whole thing. So,
Hmm. And you'll be
um,
back next week.
right. We both know it too, right? They don't know it, but
Exactly.
we know. That's the beauty of it, right? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
there is that trust that they've entrusted us with this work, and now we're doing these things, and we get to just really celebrate their small victories, and we get to mirror back
Hmm.
their small accomplishments, and that's really what they're coming back for. Because I mean, like
Yeah.
they leave the studio, and that's 1 hour a week where someone is telling you, "Good job, look at this, you achieved this,
Hmm.
well done." Like how many times outside of our hour do they hear that in their regular lives?
Very true. Very true. Yeah. I know that's, what kept me coming back and to be able to do well in my own practice to where I felt confident enough to be able to think that I could teach this
Yes.
and, see that same progress in students. So, yeah.
Yeah. How did you find Pilates? Or did I guess it found you, but
So I found it. in the late 90s.
Hmm.
And that was kind of when like all the celebrities were doing Pilates.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I was doing a, walking workout program and I needed something to supplement it. So I literally started with a magazine. It was Women's Health magazine.
Okay.
And I remember it had Stomach Series and maybe Teaser and the 100 in it.
Yeah.
So possibly Salon. So no instructor involved, added those exercises on to my workout routine.
Hmm.
And so I did that for a number of years. And then a studio um, opened up. Think about it was in a couple cities over. So I started going there, but it wasn't weekly. It was maybe once a month.
Okay.
And from there, I just started finding other studios throughout the Twin Cities to go to. 6 Degrees Uptown, which is the studio where I got my certification from, was where I really started to get serious about it. And that was in 2013. So that's when I
Okay.
was going weekly.
Yes.
Um, it was an amazing community there, still is. I call a number of those women my friends now.
Sweet.
And they were very supportive in me
Hmm.
getting my certification.
Yeah.
So yeah, and even before that, I call it illegally teaching
Okay.
because we would go to different workout spaces. And once we were done with the workout, you want something else, but you're not sure what. And I would just say, hey, I know these exercises from Pilates. Let's try this. And,
Hmm.
so it was one of those where I thought, well, maybe I should probably get certified before I go around running around the Twin Cities telling everybody to do Pilates.
Right. Yes.
So it's been a part of my life since, the late 90s and I love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And I love how, and that's many people's stories. They just keep diving deeper on it, right? From a magazine to a class to more
Hmm.
classes to a cert to, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yep, I love it. I can't even imagine, not doing. I can feel it if I don't do it at least twice a week. I can like
right,
literally feel if I'm not doing either mat or reformer at
right.
least twice a week. So,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
And isn't it fascinating how Pilates in and of itself, the work itself is powerful enough that you could read three or four exercises in a magazine and have enough of an impact
Hmm.
that you need more.
Yes, yes. And you could see the change in my body just doing those exercises, just from the words on a page jumping out at me.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, it was amazing. I saw the difference, and that's what made me want to go. Say, well, let me
Yes.
see how this goes in person. And then,
Hmm.
and during that time, I was able to, go to a studio and got great instruction. I went
Yes.
to community centers around my house when they would have
Perfect.
once or twice a week, got great instruction. So it's
Hmm.
just amazing that um, not only, translating to someone reading a magazine, but just
Hmm.
all these different instructors that went to different certification programs, and I learned
Yes.
something from each and every one of them. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's amazing. I have these community classes that I teach once a week, and when before COVID, I'd have people who would come into this class, and it's a 45-minute class, and I know that they wouldn't do anything from Wednesday to Wednesday. So they're literally doing 40 minutes of Pilates per week.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
over the course of a year, you would see their body change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, which is counterintuitive for me owning a studio, saying like, it'd be great if you came in every day, every three times a week and did all these different
Mm-hmm.
things. But there's such a power to the work itself that
It
I
is.
like 40 minutes a week
Mm-hmm.
and bodies were changing over the course of a year.
Wow, that's
You know what I mean?
awesome.
And
Yeah.
obviously that would go faster if we saw them more, but that's not like, let's not take away from the actual power of the exercises themselves, right?
Exactly. True. Truly. The power of the exercises and then, determination. I mean, even, 40 minutes a week, just how busy things are. If you're dedicating that
Right.
amount of time to, for yourself and getting yourself in shape or, whatever your reason for doing Pilates is. Some could be, I have a client that says this is her church. It's her spiritual time. This is when she comes
Yes.
in. So if you spend 40 minutes a week dedicating to yourself, I mean, you're going to see some changes.
You're going to see some changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
That's so inspiring, and I think that it normalizes the conversation for those who condemn themselves because they can't get to the gym 3 times a week.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I can't.
right? It's movement, right? Like we just need movement, right? So,
Hmm.
so Michelle's asking you to talk about your modeling career.
Oh, my modeling career, I'm assuming with Movement Shop.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ambassador for the Movement Shop, Maria, who's actually one of my private clients.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I love it. I love what she does. Those are the cute T-shirts that I wear in my posts sometimes,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
The Death by
and
Magic Circle and all those ones.
yeah, yep, the one
Nice.
that had the magic circle. Yeah, that was a big hit. So yeah, so I work with Maria. She has really great products. She does a lot for the community that I can attest to it. I'm here with her in
Yes.
Minneapolis, and just seeing the things that she does for the community is awesome. So
What's
yeah,
what's
so
it? I'm
anytime,
gonna put it in the comment section. What is it again?
so it's the Movement Shop at the Movement Shop.
At the Movement Shop.
And that's been one of the great things about this Instagram community. I mean, I'll be honest, when I joined, and my whole goal was just to post pictures and get more people interested in
Mhm.
Pilates. Um, just the number of people that I've met has just been amazing. So it's
Yeah, oh
been
yeah.
great. One of my favorite things. But yeah, the Movement Shop is awesome. They have great stuff. Maria is doing her thing. She's a great instructor in her own right. So definitely
Hmm.
go to Movement Shop, everybody.
Yes, exactly. Go support. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And can we just spend a minute back on that self-care piece? Because like it
Yeah,
does, it segues into that where, we think we have to work out X amount of times per week and we have to really grind on these workouts and stuff. But then we realize that there is movement that happens and that there's benefit within those 40 minutes. And then we look at it like, okay, there's different reasons for being there in the first place. Like not everyone's after a six pack. Some people are just
right.
after soul crafting, right? Like just to
Hmm.
take care of themselves for a minute. Yeah. Can you just speak more to that self care piece?
Yeah, so self-care is what you deem it to be.
Yes.
There are some people, now I have clients that will see me and other teachers, and they'll be at studios, 5 times a week. That's their
Hmm.
self-care. I have some that, my 1 hour with Gwen or whomever is my self-care. I have 1 hour, and I believe that you can have, the 40 to 60 minutes to dedicate to yourself so you can be there for others.
Yes.
Yeah, if someone who, when I teach on Sundays, that's when she comes in. That's her spirituality time. And
Hmm.
she is a beautiful, all of my clients are really great movers, but you can just almost see her. It's like I haven't seen her eyes open in class the entire
Yeah.
time. She just
Oh,
listens to
wow.
me
Just gets
and she
lost
just
in the
flow
work, eh?
exactly. And it's a
Man.
beautiful thing to see. So
Yes.
it just depends on what you deem your self-care is.
Hmm.
I'll do some form of workout 5 times a week just because now I do have times, but that includes
Yes.
walking. It's not always in a
Right.
studio. It's not always in a gym. So I think you decide what that is for yourself, and it's going to be different than what your friends. It's going to be different than what your mom's is. Just decide
Yes.
what it is for yourself. Make sure you get to it,
Hmm.
because I've seen a difference, and I'm sure everyone has, in people who take care of themselves first and how they
Yes.
interact with others
Hmm.
versus just giving everything away. So I'll say one thing. I am one of those people that, I've always been on top of my self-care.
Yeah. Good for you.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Absolutely.
and I highly encourage everyone to take some time to do what's best for them. If that's reading a book, read the book,
Mhm.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so Lisa and Helen jumped all over that word soul crafting.
Yeah,
I
I love that.
Yeah, I was in a workshop a long time ago and someone used that word and I was like, I'm ready to die. That's because that's my thing. Like I told, and I love that. I use that phrase, soul crafting. Like we are actually crafting our soul and just find that place of quiet if we need quiet, or find that place of movement if we need movement, or whatever that looks like. You just said so beautifully.
Hmm.
Whatever that looks like for you, just do it. And I would add, make no apologies in doing it, because,
Exactly.
you know, moms, like, especially, they want to put everyone else first, but you
Hmm.
got to be able to bring your best, self, like, to whatever you're doing, right? So,
Yeah, you have to. And I mean, it starts with you.
yeah, it does. It does. I'm writing an article for PMA for next year, and one of
Hmm.
the things that I put in it was a post that I used a long time ago about our oxygen mask. And if you're on an airplane, which no one's on planes these days anymore, but what they, in a little card, and your oxygen mask comes down when they're doing that little talk at
Yeah.
the beginning, what did they say? They say, put
Yep.
your oxygen mask on first, and then take care of your child, whoever's around you.
Exactly.
And I think that is how we need to look at it. Like, if I don't put my oxygen mask on first, I'm not going to be able to help anybody else around me,
Hmm. I
right?
like
Whereas
that.
we get so caught up in taking care of everyone else first, and we have nothing left to give.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, I like that. That's a really great example of that. Um, and then I think if you do that, because I think one of the reasons I'm so good at self-care is because my mom was.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, there was a time where she would do her thing, and the kids were off watching TV and the husband
Hmm.
was gone, and so for me seeing her model that,
Yes.
um, I'll be honest, when I first started really hearing self-care and what it entailed, I'm thinking, oh, doesn't everyone's mom do that? Or,
Right. Yeah,
because,
exactly. She
she
normalized
wasn't
something
playing.
that's
She
right.
was, like, y'all go do something so I can have my time.
Right. Just don't get
So
hurt.
exactly, yeah, just
Don't
don't
call
get
me if you get
hurt.
hurt.
I know exactly. If you get hurt, they're the band-aids. Go take care of that. So yeah, yeah, I highly, if anyone, is watching right now, honestly, make sure you get that part of yourself taken
Hmm.
care of. And again, reading a book, exercising,
Yes.
spending time with friends, whatever that looks like for you,
Hmm.
do that. 'Cause-
Right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. That reminds me, I had one of my best friends growing up, his parents would always have their date night. And we used to just laugh at the fact that it didn't matter what was happening with the family. People are
Mhm.
hanging out, husband and wife, peace out. We're going out, like,
Mhm.
Friday night, Saturday night. They didn't compromise with that time. That was, like you said, like your own self-care, like relationally speaking, they didn't
Mhm.
compromise on that time as well. And I thought that that's something that I remember too. It's like, well, my parents don't do that. Like, how come these guys could just up and leave everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so there's something for that modeling of taking care of ourselves and taking care of those around us as well, right? So,
It is, yeah, yeah. Another thing I would see with my parents, Sunday nights, they were gone.
yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know, that would be a movie, or they like to go to blues clubs a lot, and
yeah,
that's yeah. So that's when I grew up. I'm going out.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny, eh? Like, all these things really inform how we do life and the examples that we set. So,
Yeah.
I love that. And like Michelle was saying earlier, you are such an inspiration on many
Mm.
levels. Now hearing that from the self-care level as well, like there's so many things that you're doing that I think we need to follow. So,
Oh, good. Thank you for saying that.
yeah, no,
And I love Michelle.
yes. Um, oh, yes. Completely unrelated.
Okay.
Boston Terriers.
Woohoo.
What's the deal with, like, like, what's up with this dog and how, like, this part of it?
So, yeah, another reason why, I hear more about the dogs than I do Pilates sometimes. So,
Right.
yes, I have two Boston Terriers, Ozzy, who's 10 years old, and Lucy, who's 8.
Mhm.
And I've had them since puppies. And I'm a member of the Minnesota Boston Terrier Club.
Okay, so
So,
you're in, like,
I'm in deep with these dogs. And I love them. I mean, they're such great dogs to have, very good companion dogs. I have a smaller house, so, them being 10, 19 and 10 pounds helps out. And yeah, they just, they're awesome dogs. I mean, they can get very excited. You couldn't tell they have the same expression the whole time, but trust me, they're having a good life, everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they're awesome. They come around me when I'm doing mat Pilates at home, and
Mhm.
that's part of my exercise as well, taking them out for walks and taking them places. So, that's my self-care in addition to
Right.
my workouts. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, they're as awesome as they look.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because people have plants in the background. It looks like an Amazon forest behind them sometimes, or people have their
Yeah,
dogs in their photos. Like, it's like, that's when we talk about social media and what we put out there. I love
hmm
that you do that because that's what helps us to connect with people,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is, and I love seeing the the cats walk through when people are doing videos.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's fun to just see that other side. I mean, we all have this common ground of Pilates, but what else do you do? What else?
What else do you do? Yeah.
Yeah, what else is going on in your life? So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they're pretty they're pretty popular.
Yes. Do they have an Instagram page yet too, or?
They do not. They're sharing mine, and there was
Yeah.
a time a little bit ago where they were almost taking over it because they were just so darn cute, and I was posting everything.
Right.
But no, no, we're gonna keep them. They'll be part of Gwen and Pilates.
Okay. Package deal.
Exactly.
Yes. We just burned like 54 minutes there, Gwen. That was
Oh my
super fun.
gosh. Oh,
Yes.
cool.
But yeah, but thank you so much for all that you're doing, and I see why people love you.
Oh,
Like,
thank you.
you're just doing great work. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm glad we got a chance to connect, and I love watching your show. And yeah, it's been great. You guys are awesome. So you and your wife, I love watching the posts and you
yes,
know doing a good thing on that side too.
thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'll send you the replay a bit later, Harris. Thank you so much.
Okay, you are welcome. Have a good